Good evening. I am G. Kiran Kumar, working as a lecturer in electrical and electronics engineering, working in Government Polytechnic Yadagiri. I am teaching the subject is nothing but the electrical circuit for the third semester, subject code 18E302C. The topic today I am telling is single phase AC parallel circuits. So already we studied the single phase AC series circuits. So in the series circuits we studied the resistance, inductance and the capacitance are connected in the series. We are applying the voltage. By applying the voltage, the current can be flows through all the three parameters: resistance, inductance and the capacitance. We already studied the definition of the resistance, inductance and the capacitance. So we already studied the AC alternating current through pure resistance, inductance as well as the capacitance. Again we studied the RL series circuit, RC series circuit and RLC series circuit here. So we know that in the series circuit the current remains the same and the voltage can be divided. Now we see that in the case of AC parallel circuit, in the parallel circuit is nothing but the current can be divided, the voltage remains the same here. So here in the parallel circuit we can see the three types of methods can be used. One is nothing but the vector method, admittance method and the J method. So now we study the subtopic is nothing but the again parallel circuits by the vector method and the problems on vector method. So now we see in the previous period we have discussed solve problems on RLC series circuit. On completion of this period you would able to know solve single phase AC parallel circuit using vector method. Representation of AC quantities in geometrical method and vector method, calculation of AC quantities in vector method, meaning of the circuit, meaning of the parallel circuit here. So solving parallel circuits by vector or phasor methods, a parallel circuit consists of two or more branches connected in the parallel. Again we can see again here two or more branches means again we can let us consider the here the resistance and the inductance in the one branch can be connected, is further connected to the resistance and the capacitance in one branch, is together connected to the voltmeter. Let us consider R1 L, R2 C. Here current can be flows, here the current can be divided I1 and I2. So it constitutes nothing but the parallel circuit. As in the DC circuits, the voltage across each branch is same. The current flowing through them is different in magnetic circuits. Again in the parallel circuit we know the voltage across each branch is same and the current flowing through them is different in magnitude. The phase angle depends on the branch impedance. So each branch contains parameters like resistance, inductance and the capacitance. Each branch is analyzed separately as a series circuit. So effects of separate branches are combined together. The magnitude and the phase angles of voltages and currents are taken into account. So the following points should be noted. Voltage across each parallel path is same. Each branch current is determined separately. The resultant current is obtained by adding the branch currents vectorially. So again this constitutes the parallel circuit where first branch is connected with the resistance and the capacitance, second branch is connected with the resistance and the inductance, again together is connected to the voltmeter. Again here given the vector diagram, again this one is nothing but the vector diagram where the current I and I1 and I2 can be connected. Again we can see here the first branch, the C1 is connected is nothing but the current I1 can be flows through the resistance and the capacitance. Here the capacitance C can be connected in the first branch, means the current I1 leads the voltage by some angle pi. So that is we have taken I1 leads the voltage by the phasor diagram by pi. Again the second branch is connected with the resistance connected with the inductance. So in the inductance the current I lags the voltage by some angle pi. Again we seeing the I2 lags the voltage by some angle pi 2 here. Again the magnitude of these both current, nothing but I1 and I2 is nothing but the current I. So a current I we can again we can find by the sum of the two currents that can be flows in the two different branches, that is I is equal to I1 plus I2 here. So that is the V is the supply voltage. Consider a parallel circuit consists of two branches 1 and 2 as shown in figure. It is connected to an alternating voltage of V volts. The following steps to be remembered in solving the first problem. Step 1, we are taking the again the branch 1, that is the R1 and the C1. For branch 1, XC is equal to 1 by 2 pi 1 by omega C, that is a 2 pi FC. Z1 is equal to under root of R1 square plus XC square, where XC can be connected. So I1 is equal to V1 by Z1, V by Z1. So angle pi 1 is equal to tan inverse XC by R1. Again we can take this is nothing but the given the formula is nothing but 1 by so 1 divided by 2 pi FC. XC is nothing but the 1 divided by 2 pi FC. 1 divided by 2 pi. Z1 is equal to under root of R1 square plus XC square. I1 is equal to V1 by Z1. Again we can take the pi 1 is equal to tan inverse XC by R1. Again leading where the current I1 lead the voltage by some angle pi 1, that is the pi 1 leading for capacitive circuit. Again current I1 leads the voltage by some angle pi 1. And cos pi 1, again we can know R1 by Z1, that is the pi 1 is equal to cos inverse of R1 by Z1. Either we can find the pi 1 as the tan inverse of XC by R1, or the pi 1 is equal to cos inverse of again R1 by Z1. For branch 2, again here inductance can be connected. Again for the branch 2, again here it is the branch 1 disconnected with the capacitance. Again the branch 2 it is connected with the inductance. So it is a R and C, it is a R2 and L. So branch 2 it is a 2 branch, it is a 1 branch. The branch 2 is connected with the inductance. It is XL is equal to 2 pi FL. So Z2 is equal to under root of R2 square plus X2 square. Again we know the Z2 is nothing but the impedance. The impedance can be defined as the vector sum of the resistance and the reactance. So here in the second branch where the resistance and the inductance can be connected in the one branch, it can be taken as under root of R square plus X2 square. X2 we can take nothing but XL. So therefore I2 is equal to V by Z2. So angle again pi 2 is equal to tan inverse XL by R1 lagging for inductive circuit. Again we can take cos pi 2 or cos pi 2 is equal to R1 by Z2 lagging. Pi 2 is equal to cos inverse of R1 by Z2, or we can take R2 by Z2. It is the taken as again we can take as R2 by Z2. So or pi 2 is equal to cos inverse of R2 by Z2. So current I2 lags behind V by some angle pi 2. Step 2, draw the phasor diagram for taking voltage as reference vector. Again represent the branch currents on it shown in figure 2. Step 3, to find the resultant current, resolve the branch currents I1 and I2 into X and Y components respectively. Combine these components as shown in figure 2. X components of the currents and Y components of the currents I1 sin pi 1, I2 sin pi 2. So we can draw again this as a nothing but here as we taken it is a again here I we can take here. This is nothing but the here where I1 we are taking, that is a here. So it is a nothing but I1 with capacitive, it is the I2 and nothing but the inductive. So we can take here it is a nothing but the voltage V is nothing but the reactive components, where I1 leads the voltage by some angle pi 1. We can take here voltage V, I2 lags V2 some angle pi 2. Again we can take here. So this we can take it as again I1 sin pi 1, I2 sin pi 2. It is a I1 cos pi 1. It is a I2 cos pi 2. So we can take it x components as a, this is nothing but x components Ixs and the y component. Again we can Ix is equal to I1 cos pi 1 plus I2 cos pi 2. Y components of the current is Iy is equal to I1 sin pi 1 minus we are taken, that is nothing but inductance can be connected, that is a lag. So minus I2 sin pi 2. Total current we can take I is equal to under root of Ix square plus Iyy square. So that is under root of I1 cos pi 1 plus I2 cos pi 2 square plus into I1 sin pi 1 minus I2 sin pi 2 square. Step 4, find the phase angle pi between the total current I and the current voltage V. That is tan pi is equal to y components of the currents par x components of the currents, that is Iyy by Ixx. So that is pi is equal to tan inverse of Iyy by Ixx. So if pi is the positive, line current I leads the voltage, but pi is the negative, line current I lags behind the voltage. Power factor of the circuit is equal to cos pi, and which is equal to Ixx by I, x component by line current. So that we can see here, that is the pi is the positive. So power factor of the circuit we can find cos pi is equal to Ixx by I, or we can also find nothing but the tan pi as the Iyy by Ixx. Anything is same. So problem, a coil of resistance 15 ohms and the inductance 0.05 henries is connected in parallel with a non-inductive resistance of 20 ohms. Find the current in each branch of the circuit, the total current supplied, the phase angle of the combination, and the power factor of the voltage at 50 Hz is supplied, power consumed in the circuit, and the total impedance. Again let us consider, again this is the problem given. Again we have to find out the current in each branch of the circuit, the total current supplied, and the power consumed in the circuit, and the total impedance by the vector method. So here the resistance and the inductance can be connected in parallel with a non-inductive resistance of 20 ohms. So that we can take nothing but as a first here resistance and the inductance can be connected, which is connected with the non-inductive resistance. So here this is a circuit given, here the 15 ohms, here the 0.05 henries, here it is 20 ohms can be connected. So we have to find the current in each branch of the circuit. So that is given, 15 ohms is connected with the, again connected to the 20 ohms resistance. Voltage we are applying, this is it is nothing but the given here phasor diagram. So lagging, again we can draw nothing but the here first, here we have to take it is a reference vector, where we can take it is nothing but the I current current I here, first one is given I1 is nothing but that is inductance can be connected, that we can take here, it is nothing but the I1, and current of it is nothing but the I2. Here only resistance can be connected means here resistance I, here we are considering it is nothing but the voltage, it is nothing but the pi 1, it is nothing but the pi 2, where the current I2 is in phase with the voltage V, because the only the resistance can be connected in the second branch, where in the first branch the resistance and the inductance can be connected means here the inductance can be connected means the current I1 lags the voltage by some angle pi 1. So it is the phasor diagram given. R and L and series, so branch 1 we can connect. R1 is equal to 15 ohms, L is equal to 0.05 henries. So reactance we can take XL is equal to 2 pi FL, that is again 2 pi 50 into 0.05, we can take 2 pi FL, which is equal to 2 into 3.14 into 50 into 0.05, so that we can get nothing but 15.708 ohms. So impedance ZL is equal to under root of R1 square plus XL square, so that XL is equal to, we know that is the 15.708, again here under root of 15 square plus 15.708 square, that is which is equal to 21.72 ohms. So I1 is equal to V1 by Z1, I1 is equal to 9.208, phase angle pi 1 is equal to cos inverse of R1 by Z1, that we can get 47.32 lakh. If RL series circuit I1 lags by angle pi 1, branch to only resistance R1, again we can take I2 is equal to V by R2, which is equal to 10 amperes. Pi 2 is equal to cos inverse of R2 by Z2, which is equal to, again we know Z here x2 is equal to 0 means again becomes here Z2 is equal to 0, so that pi 2 is equal to cos inverse of so R2 is equal to 20 ohm is given, pi 2 is equal to cos inverse of 0. Again we get the value that that is nothing but the infinity, cos inverse of 1 is equal to nothing but the 0 degrees. So since it is pure resistive circuit, I2 is in phase with the voltage. Current in branch I1 is 9.208. Current in branch 2 I2 is equal to 10 amps. So figure 4 shows vector diagram with B with A as a reference. To resolve the current X components I5, sigma IXS is equal to 16.359 amperes. Y component of IYY is equal to minus 6.65 amperes. So I1 is given as, so this is nothing but the I1 current. So we can resolve the branch currents as the, again IXX, that is equal to I1 cos pi 1 plus I2 cos pi 2, and IYY is equal to minus I1 sin pi 1 plus I2. So we are taking minus here, I1 cos pi sin pi 1 is nothing but wherever here first branch the inductance can be connected. By solving the here I1 cos pi 1, pi 1 is equal to some value, pi 2 is equal to some value, I2 is equal to some value, I1 is equal to 9.208, I2 is equal to 10 amperes. If we substitute, we can get the value of IXX as a separate value and IYY is a separate value here. So after getting the IXX and IYY, we can find the power factor. So that is given as, so resolving the currents x components of I, that is after solving sigma Ixx we get 16.359 amperes. Y component of current I, that is the sigma Iyy is equal to minus 6.57 amperes. So that is total current supplied, which is equal to I is equal to under root of Ixx square plus Iyy square. So that is equal to I is equal to 17.66 amperes. So phase angle pi 1, pi is equal to tan inverse of Iyy by Ixx is equal to minus 21.143, cos pi is equal to 0.9262 lakh. So power consumed, we know P is equal to VI cos pi 3271.3 watts. So total impedance is equal to V by, that is the 11.325 ohms. Summary: in this period we have discussed power factor is the quotient of angle between the voltage and the current. Parallel circuits can be analyzed by the vector method. So the ratio of the current and the voltage is of AC circuit is called as the resistance, voltage, reactance and admittance. We can say it is nothing but the admittance here. So coil of resistance 20 ohms and inductance of is connected in parallel with the capacitor 550 microfarads. If this parallel combination is connected across the 200 volts 50 hertz supply, calculate line current, power factor, impedance and power consumed. So same thing again, in previous we studied. Here the resistance and inductance in the first branch can be connected, with only the single capacitance can be connected. That we are taking resistance, inductance and the capacitance. So these are together connected to the voltage. So that is again we can say that is the R1, we can assume R1 is equal to 20 ohms, L is equal to 0.05 henries and the capacitor C is equal to 50 microfarads. So if the parallel combination is connected across the 200 volts, 50 hertz supply, we have to calculate the line current, power factor, impedance and the power consumed. Again we can say the line current is equal to nothing but the current value, that is I is equal to under root of Ixx square plus Iyy square. Then power factor we can find cos pi is equal to Iyy by I, and impedance we can calculate Z is equal to V by I. Power consumed we can find P is equal to Vi cos pi. So in this way we can find the value. So now we see the subtopic is nothing but the solving of single phase AC parallel circuit using admittance method. So in the previous class we studied the parallel circuit. Again we are solving the single phase AC parallel circuit using the vector method. In the vector method we are resolved the currents in the two components, that is the Ixx and Iyy components. So after finding the equations for the Ixx and Iyy, we are determining the power factor as well as the phase angle, again by using the vector method. Now we can solve the single phase AC parallel circuits again by using the admittance method. So first of all we know what is the admittance method. So what is meant by admittance? Again, we studied the impedance. So impedance, we know, again we can define in many ways. We can define the impedance as a, again here, ratio of voltage to current. We can define the impedance as the vector sum of the resistance and the reactance. Again, we can also define the impedance as the reciprocal of the admittance. So we can define the admittance as, the admittance is nothing but the reciprocal of the impedance here. So based upon this, again admittance, again here by the means of the impedance, here we can find the currents and the voltage equations by using the admittance method, and also we can find the power factor. In the previous period we have discussed solve single phase AC parallel circuits using the vector method. So solve, on completion of this period you would able to know solve single phase parallel circuit using admittance method. So how do you calculate supply current, the circuit impedance, resistance and reactance single phase as well using the vector method? Again we can know again what is meant by susceptance, what is meant by admittance. So first we know how we can, again we already studied. Again we are resolving the currents in the two component, that is the under root of Ixx square plus Iyy square. So from this we can determine the, again Ixx and Iy value, again I value. Impedance, again we know Z is equal to V by I, and the resistance we can find it. Susceptance, again we can find susceptance is the reciprocal of the reactance. That we can take as a B, susceptance B is equal to 1 by X, reciprocal of the reactance. And what is meant by admittance? So admittance we can study. Admittance is the nothing but denoted by the letter Y, which is equal to Y is equal to 1 by Z. So the admittance can be defined as a reciprocal of the impedance. So admittance we can define the reciprocal of the impedance here. A parallel circuit consists of two or more branches connected in parallel. As in DC circuit, the voltage across each branch is same. Again we know the current flowing through them is different in magnitude. Again we can construct this as a, where if the resistance, inductance, and the capacitance is connected, so what are the conditions? R1, L, R2 and C is connected. So what are the conditions can be expressed in the parallel circuit here? First of all, we can write here the voltages can be again equal. V1 is equal to V2 is equal to V3. The three branches are connected in the parallel. Again where I is equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3. So it is nothing but the currents in each branch with the parameters are connected in the parallel. Again it is nothing but the current flowing through them is different in the magnitude. Phase angle depends upon the branch impedance. So each branch contains elements like resistance, inductance and the capacitance. So each branch is analyzed separately as a series circuit. So effects of all branches are combined together. The magnitude of phase angles of voltages and currents are taken into account. Admittance of a circuit is dependent on the reciprocal of the admittance impedance. It is represented by the letter Y, measured in mho. That is Y is equal to 1 by Z or Y is equal to 1 by V. So actually impedance is measured in ohms. Impedance in ohms and admittance in mho. These are the signs where impedance can be made in ohms, admittance can be made in mho. So impedance Z of the circuit has two components, the resistance and the reactance. So that we can again define as the raised Z impedance can be again the defined as the vector sum of the resistance and the reactance, that is Z is equal to under root of R square plus X square. Either it may be the inductive reactance, either it may be the capacitive reactance. So the impedance can be defined as the vector sum of the resistance and the reactance. The admittance also has two components, that is the again real component is conductance, imaginary component is a susceptance, this is G and the B. Again we can also again define as the conductance is equal to reciprocal of the resistance, susceptance is the reciprocal of the reactance, that we can consider here. So admittance is the reciprocal of the impedance 1 by Z. We can write here impedance as the impedance Z is equal to R plus Jx, admittance Y is equal to G plus JB. G plus JB. Reciprocal of the impedance is the admittance. Reciprocal of the resistance is the conductance, that is the G. Reciprocal of the reactance is the susceptance. So we can add that Z is equal to R plus Jx and admittance Y is equal to G plus JB, where G is the conductance, B is the susceptance. Again given here the three branches by admittance method. First branch G1 is the B1 is connected, G2 B2 is connected, G3 and B3 is connected to the voltage V. Here the impedance triangle. Admittance triangle. Figure 2 and 3 show the impedance and admittance triangle here. Here conductance G is equal to Y cos pi, which is equal to 1 by Z into R by Z. Again we know from this we can also again say R is cos pi is equal to R by Z. 1 by Z we can constitute again here cos pi is equal to R into 1 by Z, so that which is equal to R into Y. R into Y, so that we can constitute here again G is equal to Y cos pi. Or anything is in cos pi by R is equal to admittance. So 1 by R we can say is nothing but the so again here 1 by R cos pi is equal to Y. So G cos pi is equal to Y. We can write here. So that we can say here G is equal to Y cos pi is equal to 1 by Z into R by Z. G is equal to R by Z square. G is equal to R by R square plus X square. If X is equal to 0, G is equal to 1 by R. Susceptance B is equal to Y sin pi. So that we can write 1 by Z into X by Z. Again B is equal to X by Z square. B is equal to X by R square plus X square. Total admittance is equal to total admittance Y is equal to root of G square plus B square. Total current I is equal to V into Y. So circuit power factor is equal to G by Y. Total admittance y is equal to g square plus b square. In the circuit shown in figure 1, it is admittance triangle, figure 2 is the impedance triangle. Total conductance G is equal to G1 plus G2 plus G3 as the here 3 branches are connected. Total susceptance is equal to minus B1 plus B2 minus B3. So we can constitute this as a nothing but here. So first branch here, the one resistance, we can assume resistance and the inductance can be connected. In the second branch here, the resistance and the capacitance is connected. In the third branch, the resistance and the inductance is connected. So here inductance, capacitance, inductance connected means, so first one minus B1 because here inductance can be connected, plus B2 because the capacitance is connected, minus B3 means again the inductance can be connected. So we can assume like this: total susceptance B is equal to minus B1, so here L1 connected in the first branch, plus B2 C connected in the second branch, minus B3 L3 is connected in the third branch. So G is equal to G1 plus G2 plus G3. Again we know here this is the conductance is the reciprocal of the resistance. So 3 resistance are connected means conductance G is equal to G1 plus G2 plus G3. Negative sign for the inductive susceptance, positive sign for the capacitive susceptance. Inductive susceptance we can assume as nothing but the inductive reactance. Reactance susceptance is the again reactance again reciprocal of the reactance. Capacitive susceptance we can say here. Susceptance B is the positive for capacitive reactance, B is the negative for inductive reactance. Y is equal to root of G square plus G square plus B square. Conductance G is equal to Y cos pi, that is the R by R square plus X square. Susceptance B is equal to Y sin pi, that is X by R square plus X square. So in this period we have discussed parallel circuits can be analyzed by admittance method. Admittance Y is equal to 1 by Z, which is I by B, Z is equal to V by A. Complex form of the admittance is equal to Y is equal to G plus or minus JB. Now susceptance B is dash for capacitor reactance, positive, negative, 0, none of the above. This is nothing but the positive. Ratio of current and the voltage in AC circuit is called impedance, admittance, conductance and the resistance. We can say it is nothing but the again admittance. Frequently asked question: explain admittance triangle, explain impedance triangle, define conductance, susceptance, admittance and impedance of AC circuits. So we can define here nothing but the again conductance as reciprocal of the again resistance, susceptance as reciprocal of the reactance, admittance as the reciprocal of the impedance. Impedance is nothing but the reciprocal of the admittance. We can define here. Next subtopic is nothing but solving parallel circuits by J notation method. Again here by converting rectangular to polar and polar to rectangular. So in previous we studied the again admittance and the vector method. Now we see the J notation method. So in the previous period we have discussed methods solving single phase parallel circuit using admittance method, and on completion of this period you would be able to know solve parallel circuits by J notation method. In this method, voltage, currents and impedance are expressed in complex form. That is nothing but the vector form here. Again, rectangular form, polar form. So these are the two forms are required. One is complex form, rectangular form, and the polar form. We consider a parallel circuit which consists of two branches. Again, here the two branches are connected with the L or X2, that is the inductance. First branch is connected with the resistance and the inductance. Second branch is connected with the resistance and the capacitance. So V is equal to V plus J0 reference phasor. Z1 is equal to R1 plus JXL. The first here resistance and inductance can be connected in series. Again in the first branch is connected. Z2 is equal to R2 minus JXC, where the second branch is connected as the capacitance. So we can, again, this is nothing but the branch is given here. So in the first branch, resistance and inductance can be connected. So that can be taken as R1 plus JXL. Second, again, branch is connected. Again, resistance and the capacitance can be connected. It's nothing but the Z2 is equal to R2 minus JXC. Rectangular form, again, I1 is equal to V by Z1. V plus J0 by R1 plus JXL. Again here we know Z1 is equal to R1 plus JXL. Here we divide and multiply with the R1 minus JX1. That is V into R1 minus JX1 divided by R1 square plus XL square. So that we can get V plus J0 by R2 minus JX1 into R2 plus JX1 by R2 plus JX1. That is we can get V into R2 plus JX1 R2 square plus XL square here. Again, rectangle V1, we know first method I1 is equal to V by Z1, where Z1 is equal to R1 plus JXL. So if we again can cross multiply with the, again multiplying and dividing with the R1 minus JXL, again we get the I1 as the V into R2 plus JX1 divided by R2 square plus XL square here. Next, polar form, V is equal to again angle of 0 degrees. Z1 angle of pi 1 degrees, where Z1 is equal to root of R1 square plus X1 square. Pi 1 is equal to tan inverse XL by R. Z2 is equal to Z2 angle of minus pi 2, where Z2 is equal to again under root of R2 square plus X2 square. Pi 2 is equal to tan inverse of XC by R. The I1 is equal to V by Z1, that is the V of angle of 0 degrees divided by Z1. Again angle of pi 1 degrees, which is equal to V angle of minus pi 1 degrees by Z1. I2 is equal to V by Z2, that is we have V of angle 0 degrees, Z2 angle of minus pi 2 degrees, which is equal to V of angle pi 2 degrees by Z2. Total admittance we can get Y is equal to under root of G square plus B square. Total current I is equal to V into Y. Total circuit power factor is equal to, which is equal to G by Y. Somewhere in this period we have discussed parallel circuits by analyzed by the J notation method. In this method, the voltages and currents and impedances are expressed in complex form and in the polar form here, rectangular form and polar form. So again already we studied the vector method, where we are resolving the again the currents in the two components. Again we studied the admittance method. Again in the admittance method, here the impedance can be converted. Again we are again find out in the currents and the equations of the power factor. So by J notation method, we are converting into the complex form and the polar form. We are finding the values of the currents and the again power values. Two impedances here, Z1 is equal to 8 plus J6 ohms and Z2 is equal to 8 minus J6 ohms are connected in parallel across 100 volts. The total current is A is 6 amps, B is 14 amps, C is 6 amps, D is 8 amperes. Current parallel means again we can do nothing but the Z is equal to under root of 8 square plus 6 square, we get under root of 64 plus 36, that which is equal to, we get 10. Z1 is equal to 10. Z2 is equal to under root of 8 square plus minus 6 square. Which is equal to, answer is 10. Z2 is equal to 10 here. So frequent asked question is the various method used to solve single phase AC parallel circuits. Explain J notation to solve single phase AC parallel circuits. A circuit comprises the conductance G in parallel with the susceptance B. Calculate that admittance G plus B if the impedance is 10 plus J 15 ohms. Okay, thank you.